Hello, Kindred Spirits. Welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we are going to be diving in to see what attractive qualities about you are magnetizing certain people in. So we're going to look into their traits, their qualities, their personality, and how you might be feeling about them. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here today. We are going to be looking into, like I said, who you are attracting in and who is being magnetized to you by your attractive qualities. So these could be people who are platonic, or for more co-workers, or other sorts of more platonic relationships, or they could be more romantic or even spiritual in nature. So we're going to see how that plays out, as each of these piles are vastly different. So I'm very much interested to see which ones you guys choose, and if you choose more than one, definitely let me know your thoughts down below as you move through them. But before we look at each of the piles, I just want to remind you, if you want to look deeper into any of these topics or other queries and questions on your mind, I have private readings down below for that, for snail mail readings, as well as digital readings. But I also have other offerings around spell and ritual papers that I hand make myself, and I also make crochet earrings for your specific queer flag colors for the LGBTQA plus community, and also for any allies out there who want to share the pride around with everyone and to spread a little bit of kindness to the queer community, as we are currently in Pride Month and I really want to be able to continue to spread that around. So do feel free to check all of that out down below. But let's go ahead and look at your piles. So for each of the piles here, we have a crystal heart for each of them, alongside a charming or attractive quality about you that we're going to focus on. So you might feel really drawn specifically to each of these, so do feel free to use them intuitively, as we are actually going to talk about them within the pile. So if you only want to look at the crystal hearts and you don't want to see these, I'm just going to show these first. So for pile 1, we have this specific crystal heart, which is a piece of Shiva eye, I believe, but it's a type of shell, so I'm going to call it the shell heart. The second pile here has a piece of Shungite, which isn't exactly in the shape of a heart, but it's close enough, in this very metallic shape. So that is Shungite for pile 2. And then here for pile 3, we have a piece of rose quartz in this very smooth heart. So those are the hearts if you don't want to see the different tarot cards here, but I'm going to go ahead and show those here now. But for pile number 1, we have the Page of Pentacles here. I'm going to try not to drop it, but the Page of Pentacles. For pile number 2 here, we have the Knight of Wands. And then for pile number 3 here, we have the Three of Pentacles. So before you start heading off to your piles here, I like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me, so you can really ground into the piles and ground into your own intuition. So let's go ahead and take that deep cleansing breath here now. So as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your piles here. Although they are vastly different, you can choose to look at all 3 of them if you want to, or switch around between them. There are no rules to this. All of the timestamps will be down below in the description, alongside the chapter marks of this video, alongside all of my offerings, which will be down below as well, for private readings, for snail mail readings, as well as those crochet rainbow queer earrings and the spell and ritual papers, all of which will be down below. But let's go ahead and get started here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this little heart here with the shell alongside the Page of Pentacles, then this is the pile for you. As I mentioned in the intro, if you want to look further into your specific attractive traits, I already have some videos out on that, but today we're going to be focusing on beyond that. So yes, you have these attractive, beautiful, charming, and alluring traits already within you, but who is that bringing back? Who is that that magnetizing in. So today we're going to be looking into their traits, into the types of people, the types of friendships, romantic relationships, workplace, coworkers, and other sorts of relationships that you might be forming and building through who you might be magnetizing in. So already we have the trait showing up here of the Page of Pentacles, and that being more about kind of who you are. And I feel like you're a very resourceful person, or a person who people can really depend on when it comes to resource material, or trying to, like, you have the right tool or you have the right information at the right time. You'd be really good at trivia games, but if nothing else, you're very dependable and a person that people can really find is very loyal. So we're going to see how those qualities just from the start are attracting and magnetizing people in, using the charms and two different oracle decks, or two decks rather, and some letter tiles here, all of which will be listed in the description down below. But let's just get right into it. So we're going to be starting out with the Queer Tarot here, looking into 3 cards on who it is you are magnetizing in, what kinds of relationships they're looking for with you. Is it friendship? Is it more? Is it more of a coworker or a symbiotic relationship? Who knows? So we're going to see what we have coming in here for you. All right, we already have one flying out immediately with the Page of Cups. So seeing as you are a page, and then with the one that you've chosen here, and then we also have the Page of Cups coming in, you're definitely bringing in people who have very youthful spirit. So this doesn't mean that this person has to be younger than you or young in general, but just someone who has a very youthful spirit, a very creative spirit as well. And like I said, this can be more than one person too. So you can blend and play around with this however you wish. Do feel free to use your own intuition and leave at the door what doesn't resonate and keep what does. But already I'm seeing a lot of flowing creativity. They kind of go with the flow. They might be somebody who kind of gets you out of your comfort zone maybe a little bit, but in a comforting way, if that makes sense. Like, they're very, they don't want to like put you in a dangerous situation, but I could see that they might be kind of pulling you a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And these people could be really good for you in that way. But let's see. They're also very social as well. We have the Three of Swords. They maybe aren't the most intellectual person in terms of like they love to give like the best ideas, or they're not maybe the most dynamic or problem solver, but I do think that they use the confusion and use the painful experiences or hurt that they've had in the past and use it to really jumpstart their creative side. So I could see them really using it for their creative side, and using that as a way to creative problem solve. They definitely work more with the heart than the head. But let's see anything else coming in here, and we'll elaborate further. Group 1 here. Who are you magnetizing in? Okay, so we have 2 3s here. 3 being a very creative number in general. It also is someone who is really a really good, like I said, there's this social element to your pile, especially with the Page of Cups, kind of with this little I was gonna say frog, but this little fish leaping out of the cup, which represents curiosity and represents like fearlessness, and to really put your heart on your sleeve and really go for it. So I really feel like there's someone, again, kind of helping to kind of move you out of like your little hermit's cave, which the Page of Pentacles can really get into that rut, and kind of moving you into more of a social place, or moving you into like your heart space a little bit more, letting you play around with creativity, play, wonder, curiosity, and joy, because maybe they've gone through some hard stuff in the past, and they've kind of, instead of letting that harden them, they've only used it as fuel to keep them going and expressing themselves further. I also think the type of people that you're bringing in might be really good team players, because we also have we have 2 different 3s here, which represent a lot about collaboration and working together in like a trio or 3s. A closer friendship is definitely things that I'm seeing here. I definitely see this more of like a friendship, or a very close friendship, or it can't even be a romantic. connection, but because we do have that community element, I'm definitely getting more of, at least it starts out as friends kind of feeling. Another reason why I feel like they are using like past experiences to sort of shape them and move them forward and use them as fuel versus as something to kind of harden their heart is because as you look at these two cards, first off, they're both wearing clothing that has these blooming flowers. So they just bloom out of the things that have been kind of crap in their life and use it as fertilizer to help them grow. But also if you look at this Three of Wands, it's almost like they are letting the sun set behind them and using that as momentum for the future to move forward, as light for the future to help guide their path. So I really see that being here. They're very much a heartfelt kind of person. They'll tell it as it is, but not in a brute force kind of way or a brutal kind of way, but rather they maybe haven't been having people who were honest with them in the past, so they might be really charmed by your personal honesty and grounded nature. They can maybe see you as someone who is dependable enough for them to be able to grow and to be able to know that you're going to be able to hold their heart with a lot of gentleness and care and nourishment. So these are the things that I'm seeing, the traits and qualities and how they're mixing and mingling with you. But let's go ahead and see two more cards. And these ones are going to represent how you might be feeling right now, or to represent how these two things are mixing. So let's see more on your side of things and how you might be feeling about these people you are attracting in, right? Like sometimes we attract in people just by our personality, just by who we are, just by our looks or our qualities, even from surface level. And those might bring in people who maybe, even if they look great from this, might not be the kinds of people that are for us. So we're going to see how those are kind of connecting here. Goodness. Okay, so split up the pile a little bit. So we have a couple of different cards here. So we have the Four of Pentacles, and then we also have the Nine of Wands. And then side note, this one also flew across. I don't really think it's this one though, because it was upside down, but just in case, we have the Seven of Cups. But I'm going to go ahead and take these two cards because it totally makes sense. Like I said, right off the bat, I felt like just because of the pile you chose, the fact that you chose a shell heart, you know, something that kind of, again, blocks off your heart or blocks off that creative side. You can have these blocks. I feel like you're magnetizing in someone who can help you outside of your shell, and someone who can pull you out of that like material world and let you play around in the unrealistic ways, in the childlike fun and joy that can come out of life. So I really see them kind of pulling that outside of you, letting you be able to express that, because we see this here, all this beautiful imagination, expression, fun, emotional energy, and then we see these Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles represents kind of restriction, holding ourselves back, keeping it safe, keeping it contained, you know. And, you know, sometimes as we grow up, we get, you know, kind of told this is what we need to mold ourselves into and keep it contained, keep it nice and clean and concise. So the fact that you also, on top of that, with what we've already talked about, have the Nine of Wands showing up, which also represents kind of holding back our ideas, and it has a lot to do with creating boundaries and safety and creating safe spaces. It's making me think that you maybe have gone through your own personal battles or these feelings of needing to mold yourself, and they again are going to help you kind of move outside of that shell. So I really think these are going to be quite beneficial relationships for both you and them, right? You bring this grounded, dependable energy that they might need, and it's a very symbiotic relationship in that they also are bringing out that creative, imaginative, playful, and carefree side within you. So already I'm really loving the dynamic, but let's go ahead and pull two cards here to see what your green flags are, or rather, their green flags are, and the red flags in accordance to how you might be seeing and viewing them. And then we're going to pull some charms and letter tiles. But if you are enjoying this reading so far, do be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel so much. You can also let me know down below what you're thinking about the reading, but let's see first those green flags. So what is a green flag? So you actually got 2 cards here. We have the 7 of paper cover, protection, beauty, and wholeness. And then we have the reader, interpretation, choice, and agency. Ooh, okay. So they're giving you choice. The great thing about them is they give you choice to, both of these are holding a book. They listen. They are a really good listener. They really look at, the whole picture, the whole story of you. They see the whole shell and what's beyond it, and are that reason why they can have that gentleness to look at you from a more holistic view versus just being like, why are you just not doing this thing? Why are you not letting this part of yourself out? Like, they understand. They're very understanding and compassionate in that way. So I see that being sort of their green flag. But let's see if there are any red flags that we maybe need to be aware of for the type of people you might be attracting in and meeting over the next few months to even a year, really. I mean, who knows? Give it time. But let's see. Okay, so we have the teacher, structure, guidance, and legacy. So I'm not really feeling the structure side. Mostly what I'm seeing here, just in general, based off of like the idea of teacher, is it also can tell me that like they might be the type of person who, yes, is a really good listener, but they also might be really kind of less good at allowing you to just feel your emotions. And sometimes when we bear it all to someone, they just want to immediately fix us or fix something or try to fix the situation, put a band-aid on it, change it, sew it up, and make it nice and tight with a pretty little bow on top of it, and then move on. And they might be much better with that emotional side to them, but you are quite grounded in your emotions, so those sometimes take a little bit longer, take more time to kind of move through. So I really think that they might constantly be wanting to put on like lessons and advice and give you to do this versus just like sitting down and sitting with the emotion. So I can see that showing up here as sort of a red flag, or just something that you find less attractive about them. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and finish off your reading with some letter tiles. So we're going to do letter tiles and some charms, and these are going to be to look directly into any of the leftover characteristics or other attractive traits coming through. But let's see. This is going to be really good to look into names or places or other things that we can oracally put together here. So let's see. Group 1. Okay. So I pulled quite a few letters here for you. We have G, E, F, U, W, U. We have another F with R and T. And then another, okay, so we have 2 Fs showing up here alongside T, P, F, U, E, and K. So these might be specific names that might be showing up for you. Fret is making me think like there's nothing to fret about, or it's making me think of like a guitar, like with a fretboard and like more of that creative side. So you might meet them through something like a concert, or through music, or through playlists that you like share back and forth. Music could be really part of that creative bonding that you have showing up here. I also see like a puck, just making me think of like a hockey puck. So again, they're really good at listening in a conversation, maybe being able to, like go back and forth, ping pong in the conversation. It's not like one person is only listening versus the other speaking the whole time. We also see like free showing up here, so they might make you feel really free. Again, nothing to fret about around them. You can be your silly and more authentic self. This is making me think of like a little meme face, like using type. So again, they're kind of quite silly, kind of funny, quite youthful and playful in that way. But do feel free to write these all down and see what's coming in for you. But I'm going to finish off with your charms here. So With these, we're going to see if we have any extra traits coming in that we didn't have before, or anything else that we want to speak on. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space, and let's mix these up. Group 1. Okay, so these are the charms that we have. We have definitely a really clear listener. Again, we have the teapot charm, so it always makes me think of like sitting down, having a cup of tea. They're really good, but again, they sometimes can be a broken record there, where they're always wanting to tell you the same kind of advice, or they don't like when you kind of bottle things up or hide things. They're very much want to have that conversation right off the bat, where you might need a little bit more time. We have the beauty charm down here with the swan. The swan also showcases more long-term relationships, where swans can be very protective of those they love as well. We have the tiger's eye charm, showcasing direction, adventure as well, and more creativity. We have the sharp point. So they can be quite pointed sometimes, or they want to, again, get right to the point in a conversation, want to get to the advice, they have an abundance of advice for you, which sometimes can feel like a little bit of a lot. The record or vinyl is also, again, reminding me of like music being really important for your relationship, or any relationships that you build. You might meet these people or bond more with these people through music. And then the bear paw charm, whenever I see this one too, it showcases hibernation because of bears. But I also found this very like serendipitously and kind of randomly on a walk one day. So this also makes me think too that it's like maybe someone you haven't, because it feels like a lost item, right? So it feels like maybe someone you haven't talked to in a really long time that you're reconnecting with. So you might already know who this person is, or these type of people are in your life, and maybe they're people you want to reach out to, and is kind of coming in as well. You might meet them even through more of those creative pursuits, through maybe a music class or something like that. Definitely music feels really prominent in this reading. But that's everything that I'm really getting here for your cards and your charms here for who you are magnetizing in and attracting in at this time. I do hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, like I said, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below what you thought. I'm always very interested to see what you saw in the charms and how everything kind of came out here. But also, if you'd like to, do be sure to subscribe, as I put out more readings like this every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, and more queer topics as well. I'm having a lot of fun playing around with that with Pride Month. But if you want to look deeper into any topics that we talk about here, or other queries and questions on your mind, I have private readings down below for snail mail readings, and I also do some fun offerings for magical offerings for spell and ritual papers, as well as some crochet earrings and handmade crocheted earrings for Pride too. So if you're interested in any or all of that, it'll be down below through my Instagram and Linktree. And yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, group 2. If you've decided to choose this little heart sort of with Shungite alongside this specific version of you that we're showcasing here within your reading and your attractive qualities with the Knight of Wands, then this is the pile for you. So we're definitely going to be looking deeper into the people that you are magnetizing in, and just going off of specifically this trait of the Knight of Wands. But if you want to look deeper into any traits that you have that are very alluring and attractive, and you want to look even deeper into that, I have several different videos already on that you can check out. But we are going to really focus on this specific trait and who is being attracted in like a magnet to it. So these could be things that are, or people in our lives that are more romantic or platonic that are coming in. They can be spiritual relationships and others that might be coming in, but we're ultimately going to see if they are something that you want to repel or continue to attract in. So we're going to be looking through that with the charms and two different decks rather here with the Queer Tarot and the Threadbound Oracle, and we're also going to be using some letter tiles, which all will be listed down below if you want to see everything here listed if you're interested. But we are going to go ahead and get started here. So like I said, you have that Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is a very passionate, very much leads by that like passionate gut feeling in their heart space and in their gut, and just like you really go after things that really matter most to you. You could be more interested in like activism or interested in like really following not only your heart but rather like those passionate projects that you have, passion projects, or you're the kind of person that just like really has this fiery nature to you. You might be a fire sign in your sun, moon, or rising, or at least a lot of that fiery nature likes to come out. And these are the qualities that people that we're going to look into are looking into as well. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space here. And let's see who you are attracting in. Group 2, who are you attracting in at this time, magnetizing into your space? Who are the kinds of people who are gonna do a double take when they see you, or listen to you, or what you have to say? So we're gonna see. First off, we have the the 9 of Swords here. We have someone who is very much an overthinker, or people who really consider things quite deeply. They're very much a deep thinker or an overthinker, somebody who really might be attracted to you in the fact that like you're very passionate and you have a very like quite a fire in your belly, and so they could find that fire in your belly very warm and something that can help like ease some of their anxieties or ease these thoughts that are in their minds. So that might be why they're being attracted towards you and that light and fire within you. And that warmth that you bring. What else do we have coming in here? Who else might you be attracting in? So again, yeah, you seem like a very safe space to them. I think that you really give them a lot of like I feel like you're a person who just, again, not only just brings out that warmth, but also you just might be a more warm soul, and they can really feel that and feel also, again, a bit of dependability, or less of like where the first pile had more of a dependability in like a sort of material or resource sense. You're more dependable in like a loyal person that they know, like if they're in a downfall, if they're in the pits of a situation, that you can not only help them, but also help them to get back on their feet entirely. So we can see that coming in here too, like you're a very dependable person and a person that they know that they can lean on. So we have that showing up here. And then vice versa. I also think that the person that you are bringing in aren't just like leeches, though. I do think that they provide a bit of community and help back for sure, and I think that they don't take it for granted. But let's see if there's anything else we have coming in here. We have sort of an open-minded feeling too. They seem to be a very open-minded kind of person, open to like all different kinds of people. And then, so yeah, definitely. I was feeling really called to like the rainbow in the window here. And I'll pick it up here for you in a second. And then the fact that we got this 10 of Cups with the rainbow here. So we have sort of a rainbow in the window. This usually represents a card of someone like going through sort of the thick of it, the pits of a situation, right? Either physically or mentally, and kind of avoiding help or avoiding that. But because you're such a dependable person, or a person that can really give them warmth in a situation like this, a reminder to continue to push through, a very optimistic person, I feel like they again want to give that back, that you, through your acts of kindness, they too want to continue those acts of kindness, you know what I mean? And so I see that coming in here too with the 10 of Cups, and that like this kind of person too might go through quite deep emotional swings. I feel like they might go through quite a range of emotion quite often. And I also am seeing that it's not just one person here. I'm definitely not feeling like you're only bringing in a person for I feel like it's sort of a community of people that you might be connecting with who have gone through kind of struggles or situations that have really gotten them down. And maybe it's through your profession. Maybe you work in a sort of like more of an advocating for people kind of profession, or through like healthcare even, or that the impact of whatever you do through your job or your work really does radiate to your customers or to your clients or to the people that you're working for, because I can see that coming in here too. Like I feel like you're attracting in the kind of people who want to continue your kind of almost a legacy of this kindness or this generosity and care. And so I see you kind of inspiring a lot of people, and through that you're helping other people continue that down the line. I'm also seeing like a family element to this as well. So you might be bringing in people who are quite family oriented, or people who want to be more towards like a chosen family or a community. I'm definitely seeing more community than I am like romance, or specifically like one single friendship, but rather like a series of friendships or a series of people in a community that you're bringing together and knitting together. I could see that too. Like your warmth is a bonfire bringing everyone together, the community together. So I see that as well. But let's look a little bit deeper here. So now that we kind of have the idea of the types of people, and we'll look even deeper as we go, but the kind of people that we have showing up here, let's see how you're possibly feeling about it, right? Is this something you want to continue to attract in, or are you feeling maybe a bit nervous, or even just kind of moving through it? Like we're going to just see how that is sort of mixing with that magnetizing energy. Are you repelling or attracting this in? So let's see group 2 here. So, oh my gosh, look, I mean, I know this is the queer tarot, so there's obviously going to be rainbows in this, but this is a card known for having a rainbow on it. And then on top of that, you have 2 in here with these super long rainbows that are very elongated. So I'm also getting that, again, that you're quite a leader. Like, I feel like you're quite a leader in this community that you might be building, or the type of people that just naturally feel drawn to you, and you create community where you go, whether you're looking for it or not. And I see that showing up here with strength, just based off the imagery here, and that you can kind of make a friend anywhere you go, and people can feel that care and that dependability and that compassion and kindness from you. And then let's see a little bit further. Let's see what's kind of combining here with strength. I don't feel like you mind it. But I do think that I don't think you realize the amount of impact your interactions have on others. Okay, and then we also have the 8 of Wands here, and the 8 of Wands represents like travel and rapid movement. So like I said, it really feels like it's something like no matter where you go, no matter where you are, you can always find some way to connect with others. You can always find some way to find that common thread. And a lot of people feel really connected to you through that. They feel very understood, and that you can kind of branch together extremes to find common ground. And I feel like they can feel that in you. So I feel like you're not necessarily bringing in one specific kind of person right now, but rather like like you're knitting together a plethora of different kinds of people and creating like a closer knit community. You're bringing together opposite communities and finding common ground, and that is definitely your strength. So like I said, yours is not giving us like one person, but I still want to look a little bit deeper. And so for this, we're actually going to use the Threadbound Oracle to look into any red flags and green flags that might be coming in from the type of people you're bringing in, and maybe things to keep in mind around that. But if you are enjoying this reading so far, do be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel so much, so thank you. You can also let me know your thoughts down below. But let's see first green flags. So what are the green flags of these people coming in? Like I said, it feels more like community. It feels like clients or people that you work with, and that like continuing to distribute down the line. So we have, oh my gosh, yes, the 7. I literally just said I felt like you guys were threading all different kinds of people together, and that continues down the line, and that's because there is this like innate thread, wow, I'm getting like chills, but like there's this innate thread of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It just feels like all these different kinds of people are just gonna be drawn to you, and then together drawn, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. Basically, you got the tapestry though, and it says interdependence, wisdom, and ancestry. And I feel like each of you are a different color, and you can't work without a symbiotic relationship, or a relationship where like there's this divine thread kind of through all of you, threading your guys' lives together through time. So I just feel like there's this really divine timing element to this, and this like not that you don't have free will, but just like this magnetism goes way beyond you. Like you're a part of this whole community of people being magnetized together, and like for a greater cause. So see how divine and how spiritual you want to take that, but just at the end of the day, I just feel like you guys were like meant to meet. Even if there's small little interactions like holding a door, or smiling at someone on the bus, or giving someone the change that they need, you know what I mean? Like there's something there. So like I said, got goosebumps from this one. So I feel like that's the green light here, or green flag. But let's look a little bit further. And then the sun even being the warmth in the center. Crazy. You guys are giving me chills. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts for sure. Okay, so for red flags, we have the 5 of ink, solvent, mistakes, forgiveness, mercy. And solvent is like the eraser of the ink world. It's a way to kind of erase things. So if you think of this as the eraser, it can also be that like when like, especially with the fact that we have sort of this central theme happening here, when you kind of reject this community and push away and try to move away from this magnetism that's coming through of these people kind of threaded together with you, you're also kind of erasing the impact that can happen. So I'm trying not to just talk about you, but it's hard because it feels like you guys are just so interconnected and interdependent on one another. It's hard to talk about one without the other, but it definitely feels like where if you take this away, then you're going to be left with these mistakes, this feeling of constantly needing to forgive, or shame, or guilt, or these thorns that we're seeing here in the rose bushes. So take that how you would like, but that's what we have showing up here for your cards. Let's go ahead and move on to some more information with the letter tiles and charms. So for this, we are going to look into any maybe people's initials showing up here, community members you already know, right? These don't have to be new people to you specifically, but we're going to see what else we have showing up here. So group 2. Well, okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you definitely have maybe a divine element showing up here. We have God showing up. If you're not a religious person or a spiritual person, it just could be for someone else. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I totally understand. But that showed up like very distinctly. We also have the letters. So we have GODA, TSTO, FKA, and R. So like I said, use these to spell whatever you really need to. We have sort of take. I'm sort of feeling like foresight is trying to be like written here, but obviously we don't have all of the letters. But I feel like this feeling of like foresight versus like, so I feel like an intuitive element is showing up here as well. So you might already be getting like certain feelings and intuitive feelings about the letters that we have here. So take a moment and see what is resonating for you. Just play around with them. Maybe we'll mix them up here, give you some new ideas. We also have like soar, which is making me think of like soaring through the stars, like soar, and then dot showing up here as well. So I really feel like there's definitely some sort of divine timing element showing up here, or, you know, it makes me think of even like in my watercolor affirmations here. I have one specifically that says, it says here, find, seek, and connect. So it really feels like you're very interconnected. It makes me think of like a constellation. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there for you. But do feel free to look through these even further and see what you get. But we're going to go ahead and, it even almost says tarot here. That's interesting. But anyway, and then oak. I'm going to go ahead and pull you your charms and see what we have coming in here for those last final details. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space. And let's see here, group 2. Okay, so we got a few different kinds of things showing up here. We have the Kindred Spirits charm. We have more community members showing up here again. We've sort of the uniqueness that's showing up with the unicorn. And then the unicorn also can represent like the queer community. So you can see that as maybe who you might be seeing. And there's also whenever I see this gear, it makes me feel like gears are turning in the background. So not just like in your subconscious background, but also like sort of the feeling that I'm getting a lot from your pile too is this feeling not only of that interconnectedness of a lot of different events sort of layering over the top of each other for something bigger, but it really reminds me of, if you've ever watched like Benjamin Button, there's that one scene where, you know, someone woke up late, which then meant that they didn't get to the bus on time, which meant that this person could get on the bus, who meant that they sat next to the person who, you know, talked to them, who then meant, you know, and it just like continues down the line to some bigger event. And so I'm getting that kind of energy with the cog here of like you being just one cog in the wheel. We have the light bulb and the hammer here, hammer meaning like persistent work as well, like work ethic. People who, again, you might meet them through work or through clients or through your own personal job or career. We also have the weight charm. Whenever I see this one, it means like you're holding in or holding yourself back from something. We have tarot showing up here, kind of pointing towards some of those letters. So maybe it has something to do with the letters that you saw. This represents the heart space, more hearts, kindred spirit charm. Yeah, I think that's everything that I'm really seeing here, but you guys definitely gave me the chills for your guys' pile, so I would really love to hear in the comments down below what you saw, and if you got chills as well, I'd be so interested. Also, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know, but if you're interested in looking further into more videos on my channel, do be sure to subscribe, as I put out new videos every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, and I'm doing a lot of more queer readings specifically this month, but they're always all inclusive all year round as a queer person myself. So do feel free to subscribe, and if you'd like to look further into anything that we've talked about here, which I think would be kind of fun, do be sure to check out the private readings that I do down below with snail mail readings, which can look into any query or question on your mind. And I also do other fun handmade crochet earrings for Pride, as well as spell and ritual papers for more magical thinkers and creatives out there. So do be sure to check all of that out down below through my Instagram and Linktree. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave you there, but thank you so much for joining me here today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 3. If you decide to choose this specific rose quartz heart alongside this part of your personality, which is already attracting and magnetizing people in with the 3 of Pentacles, then this is the pile for you. We're going to be looking into, like I said, what is attractive, not only kind of a bit about you here, but I have a couple of other videos on that if you want to look even further into your attractive qualities and traits, but we're mostly going to be looking into this one about this specific trait and how that is bringing in and magnetizing in different kinds of people, whether that's platonically, for more community, for friendships, for romantic interests, and others. So we're going to see how that kind of manifests here and how you are feeling about it. And we're going to use the charms, different cards, and letter tiles. So do feel free to look down below if you're interested in any of the supplies that I have here. But we're going to start getting right into it. I've just come from pile 2, obviously, and they had quite a very unique experience. So I want to see what's coming in for you, and I wanted to take a little bit of time. I had a little bit of downtime before this one, so that I could reconnect with you all. So do feel free, as always, to send in your energy through time and space. And if my voice goes in and out, I'm just sort of losing my voice today, but we are going to power on through because I'm so curious. I love these readings. So let's see, group 3. Who do you have coming in? Who are you magnetizing in through your quality of the 3 of Pentacles, which just means that you're quite a community oriented person, or a team sort of team builder. You're very much a quite resourceful, helpful kind of person, and also a team player, right? So you might meet these kinds of people through your job or through your work or through any kind of moment where we have the Empress, any kind of moment where you are kind of working in a team. I can definitely see you having quite a leadership quality to you, or at least people really like to hear what you have to say and really listen to what you bring to the table, because you usually bring some really good ideas. So first off, we have the Empress showing up here, a very creative person, possibly someone who's more on the femme side, but doesn't have to be. And this kind of person seems like they feel really comfortable around you. Your comfortability and your warmth, maybe not warmth necessarily, but you're very comfortable to be around. You feel very cozy, like a warm blanket or something like that. Like they just feel really like you feel very cozy to them. And in doing so, they feel more open to share their more creative, dynamic ideas with you, because you don't make it feel kind of like closed off. We also have the Ace of Wands. So yeah, like I said, I really feel like they want to share more with you. They want to share their dynamic ideas and creative ideas with you, because they're not feeling as shy about it. And that's maybe why they're magnetized to you, because you have this sort of open-minded feeling towards it. Like it kind of feels like, when you're in a group project and someone's kind of like the leader, but they don't want to hear what anyone has to say. They don't really care about your ideas, and they just kind of brush them off or write them down, but like they never ever follow through on them. They don't really want to hear what you have to say. And you really listen, you really care, you really take the time to hear people out, even if they're opposing ideas to you. And I feel like there's this team player element that's coming in here for sure. Let's look a little further. Let's see if there's anything else that we're getting. So we also have the Wheel of Fortune. So it feels like this kind of person is someone who, this Wheel of Fortune is making me think of like a meeting room table. It's making me think of like a round table where everyone gathers around and shares different ideas through these different symbols. So I really feel like the people that you're kind of bringing in are coworkers, friendships, or people who, it definitely feels more work-oriented or career-oriented. This can also mean like even online through like forums or through DMs or different communities that you might have online. I can see a little bit of that coming in too, that like you, even if you're not directly working at like the same workplace coworkers, you might be like coworkers online through small businesses. But I feel like this lifting up energy, and you help lift them up, and they want to also help lift you up. For whatever reason, I feel like we need to pull one more card. So I want to see what that final card is here. So we also have the Six of Pentacles, the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords has a lot to do with kind of moving away from a difficult situation for something better, knowing that there's something better on the other side. So this feels completely other from everything else that we have here. A lot of this showcases like creative, dynamic ideas, people in, working together through your workplace. And this feels more like you're bringing together some people who are looking for like a safe haven or a safe place. Again, I feel like you bring a lot of safety and protection towards a lot of people and a lot of care and compassion, which is something that is very, sometimes hard to find. So I think that that's really beautiful, and they can really feel that within you, and kind of you are the boat kind of moving them along. You bring a lot of hope and relief to people in your life. And also there's this feeling too of like partnership. So again, like we have a lot of workspace partnership and coworker kind of feelings, but this specific one is giving me something a little bit different. Like there could be a little bit more of a flirtiness to it. Like they're looking back, they feel like this double take when they see you or when they hear what you have to say. So I can feel like a friendship is blooming through the workplace, or even a romantic relationship could be blooming there as well. One that maybe someone who just came out of maybe rocky waters, or is currently healing and working through that. So it might be something that takes a little bit of time to get there. The Wheel of Fortune also represents relationships that are more long-term, that are more long-lasting. So I see that too. So let's see a little bit more. We're going to look even deeper later with the charms, but I want to look into how you're possibly feeling about what you're attracting in, right? Because sometimes just because our magnet is attracting in these kinds of people based off our own qualities doesn't mean we don't want to repel them. Doesn't mean they're our kind of people. So we're going to see if there's any repel there, or if it's all more like you're like, yes, I feel good about these kinds of people. So we're going to see how your reaction is. So we have the Three of Cups. This is great. Community. Again, we've got threes going on here. So already that's a really good sign, a green light. So let's see anything else. Maybe a little bit more on that, specifically that one single card. So we have the Justice card showing up here too. And the Justice card shows a little bit more of that heavier feeling. I feel like there's this heaviness on your shoulders to maybe take on this relationship that might be coming in from this attraction. Like I said, you give them hope, you give them relief, you give them a safe haven. But that can feel like a lot to hold on your shoulders, a lot to hold on your head, a lot of decisions and possibly even consequences to those actions in which taking on this relationship might be. So this might be one to keep your eye out on if it's not something you're really wanting to bring in. But I do see that there could be a potential long-term and long-standing relationship through giving them a bit of your help and your aid. Whether that's a healthy one or not, we're going to look a little bit further on. But yeah, the Three of Cups is already just talking about everything we already talked about here. So it really just feels like a green light on all of this side. But when it came to this one, it felt a bit heavier. Heavy doesn't necessarily mean bad, but it can mean just, it's a lot more responsibility and a lot more emotional kind of pressure to hold. So we're now going to go ahead and pull you a green flag and a red flag about the relationship showing up here. Most of this already feels like green flag entirely for you, and it doesn't feel very specific, where this one did. So I'm going to look more focused on this card, and then we're going to look into some cards, some charms and letter tiles. But if you've been enjoying this reading so far, do be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel so much, so thank you. You can also let me know in the comments down below what you're enjoying or resonating with here. But let's go ahead and see those red and green flags. Let's start with those green flags. So what are the green flags showing up with this Six of Swords? And then we'll look into red flags. So there we go. Ooh, got a couple of red flags showing up here. So we'll see what these are in a moment. But let's focus first on the song as the green flag. So we have heart, harmony, and messages. And it says here, would you be your true? Would you listen to the sound of my heart if it sings out loud through you? Would you stay with me? That would you stay with me specifically is making me feel where that pressure is maybe. But I'm mostly getting just like that there definitely is pros and cons to this. Like you might find someone that you can feel very deeply connected to, but in doing so, you're creating really deep sort of I'm almost feeling like codependent kind of feeling, So I want to see the red flags here though. So we have both the healer, compassion, recovery, and consent, and then the author, spirituality, devotion, and higher power. So again, they're very devoted. This feels like a very loyal relationship, but on top of that, there is showcasing that they're possibly still going through a situation, right? Like I said, they're leaving a situation right now. They're possibly leaving a relationship. They're moving through something, and you're kind of meeting them in the thick of that. You know what I mean? So that kind of can mean that they could be really good for you, but it's going to maybe take a bit of time to get there. And that would you stay with me is making me think again that it might just take a little bit of patience and compassion on your end, to kind of move through the weight that and emotional baggage that they might have coming with them. So let's go ahead and move on to your letter tiles and see what we get there. So these might be specific initials or other sorts of takeaways here, oracally, but we're gonna see what's coming in for you, group 3. So most of them came out up right here, which is telling me that there's sort of this really open-minded feeling to this, and the idea that like there aren't any secrets. So even though we have a lot of emotional baggage with the stuff that we talked about earlier, and even with the creative ideas and how expressive they can be, it doesn't seem like there's any secrets or anything. It's just a lot of pressure and weight. So that's good to know. We have the O-A-W-A-U-G-E-O-B-I-I and L. So those are all the letters. Do feel free to kind of mix these up and play around with them for yourself and see what comes through, but I'm going to look a little bit here. So first off, I immediately saw gill. I know it doesn't fully spell it. I don't know. I haven't had to write gills before, so I don't know if there's 2 L's or not, but it's making me think like a fish gill, and the idea that like the pressure that you might be feeling from this situation that they're healing through might make you feel like a fish out of water, or like you're trying to like get air through a situation that you're not used to. So again, you're kind of like popping in the middle of this healing process. So it might just feel like a fish out of water kind of feeling. I'm also seeing with the Justice card and the fact that we have law showing up here is making me think again, like maybe it could be something quite serious. So again, that might be that weight and that pressure that's coming in here. I'm honestly, we have a lot of vowels here. So again, a lot of open communication. So it doesn't feel like there's any lies or, funny business happening here, but it does feel quite big, quite a lot, a fish out of water, around this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these over on the edge, but like I said, you can take your time and look through these even deeper and see what comes in for you. But we're going to go ahead and finish off your reading by pulling those last charms. So these are going to be more traits on the people coming in here. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space. And let's see here, group 3. Okay, we have a lot of charms here, so I might not catch or talk about every single one, but let's just look at what we have. So we have the History Channel charm showing up here, which tells me that this might be someone or the people that we have here, whether it's the Empress or like I talked about earlier with that more serious situation, it's someone that maybe you already know, or the situation involves someone you already know. So it might be new to you, this person, but the situation is not necessarily new to you and the people that are involved. So we have that showing up here. We also have the numbers 6, 2, and 9, or I guess it's 9, 2, and 6 showing up here. So you might have angel numbers around that might represent like that they're 26, or can represent specific months in the year or dates of some sort, especially since you had the 6 showing up here on the blue moon. So somewhere around the 6th month or the 6th in a month, I'm pretty sure at the very end of August, we have a blue moon this year. So this might be more on timing, especially since you have more of that divine timing charm showing up here. This always reminds me of like a little hourglass. So I see that showing up here. We have persistence. They're very persistent, the people that are coming in. There is a lot to showcase. It feels kind of like two different sides. Like on this side of the charms, we're getting a lot about that history, that blue moon, that kind of energy. Again, people are very much like, they're not being cagey about that information. They're very open and honest, even if it's a difficult situation. The situation in and of itself might be very quick moving and fast. So we have that showing up here with the cheetah charm. On this side, we have like more on that song and of like heart and harmony and peacefulness, and like even like the dragonfly over here, and an open heart, and like luck, lots of lucky charms, right? We have the charm of like the lucky, what do you call this, ladybug, and then you also have the 4-leaf clover. But all of this is around the reflection mirror, which means that when they look at you, they see all of this reflected back at themselves, and it's a way for them to heal. But on top of that, I also see this being something that you reflect in your like the more of that community element that we talked about at the beginning of kind of bringing forth an open nature and an open heart nature to you in community settings and in through coworkers and things to help people be able to open up. So I see that showing up here too, especially with the can opener and helping people to open up for sure. We do see a bit of friendship showing up here, even on this side. So we have more of friendship blooming, and then self-love as well. And a lot of personal healing has gotten you to this space, and that's why maybe you're kind of attracting and magnetizing other people who are currently healing. But those are all of the charms and cards that I'm really getting here for you. But do feel free to let me know in the comments down below how it resonates for you. I'd love to hear how things are kind of lining up for you, if you're feeling like this is related, or two different kinds of people or communities here. I would love to hear your thoughts down below, and also to give this video a like. But if you want to see further into other kinds of charm readings and others that I have on this channel, do be sure to subscribe, as I put out new videos every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, for queer topics, and many, many more. But also, if you want to look into getting your own private reading, if you want to look even further into this or another kind of reading on your mind, then do be sure to check out my snail mail private readings down below, and any other offerings such as spell and ritual paper sets and handmade crochet earrings for Pride. So all of that will be down below through my Instagram and my link tree. And I'm wishing you the best for all of these new relationships that might be coming your way. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.